Broadcasting live from outside. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcasts. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. This is your first time. Thank you for tuning in and trying me out and testing out to see what I got to say. And if you are returning, I thank you again for your continued support for everyone out there. Thank you. Now, I'm talking about today so much things that we see are not what they seem to be. Now, let me pull up my notes here so I could, stay on track. Okay, things are not what they seem. That's basically the premise of what this podcast is today. Now, everyone has to come to a point where you have to question all the things that are being presented to you and promoted to you. And you have to also look at, why are only certain things advertised to us and why are certain other things not advertised? And even more importantly, you have to ask the question, why? I spend my fair share, like many other people, up on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, looking at, nice trends, looking at people who are doing big things, cooking things, ways to improve yourself, which is kind of what I'm doing, ways to improve your business and build yourself, all that stuff, cat videos, memes, vines, whatever it is out there, you name it. Now, you always have to pay particular attention to what you put in all the time. As I say, you have to focus on things that's going to build you up and not so much things that's just the world and everyone else is about, because you're going to lose yourself. Now, the problem that I see is that there are many things that are put in our faces, and the media, the news, newspapers, billboards, social media, people only seem to talk about certain things, because people will say that we're in the end times. I always talk about Elohim and certain things are prophetic and all that, but it can't be all doom and gloom. We have to pay attention to what's going on around us, but we also have to not have an anxious mind or heart. Yeah, we have, we got World War III looming. We have someone who's not desirable in office. We have so much things, wars and rumors of wars is what's going on right now. But we have to look at so much other things of society, of what's being accepted and acceptable, and why is it? Why aren't certain other things being presented to us, but we have these things in our faces all the time? Now, on my quest in YouTube land, I found something that caught my eye. It was a video. It was actually entitled, "Former LGBTQers Testify if you no longer want to be gay or transgender." You don't have to be. Let me say it so you can search for it yourself. It says former LGBTQers testify if you no longer want to be gay or transgender. You don't have to be. Now, this is a whole bunch of people that are, that came out, on this video and saying that they had a lifestyle where they identified as that community and they no longer wish to be. And this is very important to say that this is not like propaganda, because it's actually the opposite, because these people are doing things off of their own volition. They've been identifying with that community for the longest. And as we know now, we have to be accepting. When I say we have to be accepting, because if you don't accept people for who they are, what they are, with their sexual preference, you can easily be ostracized, demonized, and vilified. I could understand to let people be. I'm all for letting people grow and breathe the way they need to be, but at the same time, I'm not going to promote certain types of actions, lifestyles, mindsets that really doesn't go in correspondence with what we're here to do. Am I going to judge wrongly? No, I'm not going to. We all have different levels of life where we're going to, be doing things or going through certain things. So you have to judge accordingly. So you can't judge harshly on people, because the same way how I didn't have a certain level of knowledge at one point in my life, I don't want anyone to judge me based on that level, because right now, 10, 20 years ago, I'm a totally different person with a mindset, with what I know and what I don't know, how I apply certain things. So these people, off their own volition, came out and, they said, the side of what the LGBTQ community, what you don't hear promoted all the time, where people say, love is love, let people do what they want to do, but people don't hear the real side to what these people go through. Everyone goes through things. And it's expressed in different ways and manners and different levels. Get that straight. Everyone has a struggle that they have to deal with. Whether you deal with it one way, it may not be the same way someone else deals with it, in their life. So they came out and they realized the error in that thinking, and all of them basically said, came from abuse or, abusive relationship, abusive childhood. They didn't have a presence of a strong foundational character in their lives, be it mother or father. Or a lot of these people were sexually abused at a young age, and this is how they turned out. And this is not the only video that I've come across. Over the years, I've actually seen many testimonies of many people who were gay, who were transsexual, who are transgender, bi, lesbian, whatever. And again, off of their own volition. This is very important that I say this, because it's not they're not being coerced into saying that they're good and straight anymore. They came to it off of their own experiences, with their own mind, their own free will, the same way they in a sense, they didn't even go into that lifestyle on their own free will. That's basically the cards that were dealt to them. And then we have a more and more accepting society of all these things here too. So it's very important that, yes, people always say accept people and accept sexuality as a way of life, and that's the end. But here's the crazy part. If it wasn't for this video, I would not have come across a congressional act, 2 of them actually, that are actually being used to counter, vilify, and even make illegal anyone who's part of the LGBTQ community who wants to convert back to basically being what, we say is straight or a heterosexual person or lifestyle. Our government is actually looking to make that illegal. Okay, we always say we want to, have progression. We want to make sure that, any discriminatory acts against people of a certain sexuality is put out in the open. Make sure, people lose their jobs over this. People get jailed. People get fined for these things. They get drugged all through the mud in social media and news and everything. Case in point, not some years ago, where a baker denied service to a gay couple because he didn't want to make a cake for their wedding, because that person was, a follower of Christ, of Yeshua. May not have a problem with the person, but what they're doing, he had a problem with. So he said, no, I don't think so, but they made a big thing about it. So basically it's like, if you go against that mindset and that sexual preference, those sexual preferences, you don't have a leg to stand on. You just got to accept it, and then that's it. Now, it's crazy how they say people have the freedom to do what they want to do, but then here these people are, again, off of their own free will, their free choice. They turn themselves around on their own volition. Now, the same government and society that's telling us to accept them are telling us to not accept that they don't have a right, and no one has a right to provide any kind of interference or any kind of methodology to convert them back to, being heterosexual. Isn't that crazy how, again, things are not what they seem to be? Because here we are professing to accept everyone, but when it comes for people to live what it is, go back to revert to being heterosexual, no, you can't do that. Now, here are the laws, Congressional Acts, the House of Representative Acts. One is H.R. 5. Okay, let me see if I could find it, because I know I had it here. Actually, I do have it here. Okay, basically, H.R. 5, the Equality Act, it prohibits any kind of discrimination against someone based on sex or gender, or gender identity, or areas including public accommodation facilities, education, federal funding, employment, housing, the whole works. So basically saying it's illegal to deny anyone based on their sexual preference or gender identification, deny anything to them based on that preference. Okay, I could get that. Now we have another one called HR 350. You have to make sure you look when you listen to this. Please research these things. So don't just take my word for it. Dig into it. These are the things that are happening that are not being promoted to us, okay? This right here says the H.R. House of Representatives Congressional Act 3570 Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act. That's all it basically says. So if anything, it's saying that anyone who wants to provide therapy or any kind of means or methodology that's going to convert someone back to being heterosexual, basically they're saying that's illegal. We don't want anyone to not be LGBTQ. Take that into consideration, okay? As much as they push down everyone's throats, which is what's been happening. And I don't know if they're even going to scan this video and, and take it down from YouTube, but it's okay. I have other means to show my stuff. Now, it's crazy how they're saying to accept people for who they are, but when these same people who they're protecting, they say, you know what, it's a mistake. This is a traumatic lifestyle. Things go on in that community that we don't know about. Even people who are stout supporters for the LGBTQ community have no idea what these people go through. And I'm not going off my own thoughts and opinions. I'm only going off of a lot of research, a lot of testimonies of people in that culture, that community, and that mindset. So much people have done actually podcasts relating to that with sexual trauma, what that does and how it impacts people. That's just one methodology of how people express themselves now, because this, one woman who was in that video I told you about, she stated that, she didn't want to be a girl anymore because being female was apparently weak because she was abused for years sexually. So she decided, I guess it's got to be a man. I know women who always felt that men were always stronger to deal with things because of how society talks to them and deals with them and handles them and mishandles them. So I always say it always goes down to what we allow in society, individually and communally. I say the same thing all the time. We are all responsible, because when we don't take proper responsibility and grow people the way we're supposed to, we have repercussions. And this is just one form of repercussion of us just allowing things to happen and go a certain path without keeping ourselves and other people in check. Okay, so here we are now. Again, this is serious because this is legal. So now when someone says, I don't think I'm gay anymore, I understand why I lived like that. And I had a lot of traumas, a lot of things, again, like I was saying, these people go through that most of us have no idea. We think because of what we see, all the smiling faces, all the ads and everything, and doing great and grand things, and people coming out all the time, that it's just sunshine and lollipops and it's like Smurf Village. It is not. And I always say, I've been saying recently too, that America should be the happiest nation on this earth, and it is not. The way I say that, the reason I say that is because we are afforded so many things that other countries can't even dream of. We have basically the amount of money we make compared to other places where we're like millionaires compared to a lot of other people on this earth. We have so much things afforded to us. So much luxuries, technologies. We have so much ways to express ourselves. Again, with sexual preference, or you want to, rally against this guy politically and that person politically. A lot of people don't have that. We basically get to do what we want and say what we want. And you would think that we're better off for it. Hell, even the children can basically move how they want to move without repercussions, because we can't discipline kids anymore. You're going to be looked at as, an abuser. Your kids might get taken from you. You'll be vilified and everything. So children could basically, as you see it, you can look at the videos, are basically talking back, are not even held accountable. And the whole fact of the whole educational thing, which I talked about in another podcast, a past one, where we're not even looking at quality of the education, just how much people are we actually graduating? Are those people actually properly educated? I think the number was only 1 out of 4 students were actually prepared for life outside of high school. We don't care about that. We just want to give everybody what they want. So basically, we should be the happiest nation. But as you can see, look around you. Look at the news. Look at everyone around you. We're no better for it. This freedom that people say that we're supposed to have of expression and how we want to live and all these things that we want to get, and we're getting it, we're worse than we were before, decades before. Certain things have improved, but many things have gone down the toilet, basically. So it's not about just getting what you want and freedom. This freedom is actually enslavement, because this world is based off of order. If you put things out of order, things are not going to work the way they're supposed to. When things don't work the way they're supposed to, it's not going to work at all properly. Period. Same thing, I always use the analogy of a car. You could put whatever you want in the vehicle. It's your vehicle, it's your choice. But you decide to put Crisco when you need to put motor oil, your vehicle's not going to last as long. You want to put 100 proof, 110, 101% proof rum inside the gas tank as opposed to gas. It may run. It's probably going to cause some damage to the internal engines and stuff and components. You could do what you want. But how long do you think it's going to run? You do whatever you want, but you have to operate in the guidelines as given to us. And the thing is, just about all of us know what those guidelines are. It's all the fact if we accept it or not. It's easy for us to say, I don't accept Christianity, even though I don't like pooling people who follow Yeshua under Christianity. I don't like following Christianity. It's been used as a tool of control. And other people I've seen, videos on, and I said the same thing too. Media is a form of control that we willingly accept every day. We reject what our creator Elohim has for us because of what other people have done, but we willingly accept anything that life and society puts in our lap. Openly, wantingly, we desire it. We pay money for these things. Because these things that we watch every day, the music we listen to, it affects us, affects our frequency. It resonates with us to a certain degree. You play it over and over a certain time, we get programmed. Again, this is why men don't act like men. I'm not even talking about sexual preference. I'm just talking about men don't step up and move how they're supposed to move. Because men are supposed to be the foundation of the home. If a proper foundation of the home in a society, in a culture, then that culture will be stronger. Okay, it's up to the men to provide somewhere proper for their wives and their children and other people in the community to build upon. Men ain't doing that because of what? We accept certain things. A lot of sexual things come into play. We get a little too focused on sex and not so much having an intimate relationship, respectable relationship with our partner. We're so busy about, getting bored with this one partner, and then we go run off to go find someone else, leaving many homes broken and destitute of that father figure. Then we have the wives and we have the children looking to overcompensate now for that lack of presence, of the paternal presence. And then now when you overcompensate, women will start doing their own thing now. What they plan to do, usually what they try to do, is not good at all. It's not even a proper solution. It's just something else they're doing because there's a void there. And kids start moving a certain way. So once you break the home up individually, communally, and nation-wise, you're going to have a broken society and a culture. It's going to be easier now for people to be fed things that make them happy, because all everybody wants to do is be happy. And like I said before, just being happy, making someone that's happy is not love. Love is limitless, but it has limitations. Anyway, please, that's all I have today. Out here, I can't believe it's supposed to be winter, but as you can see, I'm here chilling. Everyone's out here chilling. Birds are chirping, squirrels are chasing each other, and I'm out here just relaxing, soaking everything up. Well, that does it for me right now. I hope I give you something to think about. Remember, research Congressional Act H.R. 5 and H.R. 3570. All right, and you could reference that YouTube video that I spoke about earlier. Let's see if I could pull this up here. There we go. And the title is Former LGBTQers testify. If you no longer want to be gay or transgender, you don't have to be. That's basically what they're saying here. So, use these as, don't take my word for it. I want you guys to take what I share with you and expand on it. Don't just always just depend on one person like myself just to supply things. But anyway, like I said, I'm out. Make sure you check out my website, www.brooklynbaritone.com, and also my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Also, you could find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Google Play, and the iTunes Play Store. I do hope to hear from you more in the comments, but you will definitely hear from me. You will hear from me every week. Be blessed. Walk good. I love all you guys. I'm out.